Hello there, and thanks for joining us once again. We are back right here on Love World Plus Television. Wherever you're watching us around the world, we are always happy to talk football. Right here, I tell you, it's total football, and we are set to take you on another roller coaster journey and a merry-go-round trip into the exciting world of round leather game. You call it football in this part of the world, they call it soccer in the Western world. All right, whatever you call it, we have the best and the best for you on this episode because it is all about European football. We are in Europe on this occasion. A very special one because something unimaginable has been happening around European football, and that's talking about the UEFA Champions League, which is the biggest money-spinning, most prestigious club competition you can get anywhere around the world, including the second-tier competition called the Europa Cup. So there is so much for us to talk about right here. Once again, welcome. As usual, I'm not alone. My 5 and 6, my false 9 is always here, and together we will thrill you in another edition of Total Football. Bala Okidiave.
Yes, the
connect.
It's good to be back, and it's good to also have you sitting behind the screens watching, because you know Total Football, we bring the exclusive, I tell you, news from the sporting world. And you know the Champions League, like the veterans have been talking about, has been lit, I should say. A lot of goals coming in, and the unexpected, I tell you, the unexpected happening. For the first time in the Champions League history, we'll have 2 French teams in the semi-finals, and of course 2 German teams. So this time, no English football in the European League at the latter stage.
Incredible, I tell you, incredible record. For the first time, as he said, in 24 years, there won't be an English team in the final, in fact, in the semi-final. There won't be an Italian team in the semi-final.
No.
And there won't be a Spanish team, the 3 biggest leagues in
the world. It's quite surprising, I tell you. And
how did it happen?
And when we move over to Europa League, we see how it's gunning down, and it's back to the finals. And this time, Spanish and the Italian team.
Sevilla is the master of Europa Cup. But would they take it this time? Now it is Spain versus Italy.
And Conte.
And Conte.
Conte is back.
Wow. All right. You would be asking yourself a lot of questions. What happened to the English teams this time around? Liverpool was or is the cup holders. They didn't make the semi-finals. Manchester United in the Europa Cup crashed out, back to Champions League. Manchester City was the only remaining team, for England. It was the only hope. And, you know, when there was no Juventus, when there was no Real Madrid, when there was no Barcelona, all eyes were on Pep Guardiola.
You know, I almost made that bet. I almost put my hair. I told someone I was going to cut my hair.
I told you.
I was going to cut my hair.
Well, I would have been screaming your hair right now.
Guardiola didn't win against Lyon, but I just backed out. And I thank God I did.
Thank God you did. So I could still see this hair next week. All right. This is Total Football. If you've just joined us, we've got so much in the package for you. When we return from the break, we'll give you the talking points and, of course, the quiz. Welcome once again. Let's set sail.
Here. Oh, he's there! That is sensational. This is special. With one swing of his gifted right foot. Absolutely awesome.
Okay, I tell you, it's nice to have you back, and we are ready with the package. Let's tell you that our talking point, as we hinted earlier on before the break, remains the UEFA Champions League. You know, we bring you the hottest gist all around the world of football every Tuesday evening right here. And I tell you, you can't miss this topic. UEFA Champions League 2020. 20. Are you one of those believing that it might just produce a shocking winner? No English team, no Spanish team, no Italian team, but we've got 2 German sides and 2 French sides. So what do you think will happen? We've got Bayern Munich, we've got RB Leipzig from Germany, and of course we've got PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, and Olympique Lyonnais in the last 4. 2020 UEFA Champions League may produce shocking winner. What's your take? Join the conversation right now, hotting up on King's Chat super user account. That is at Love War Plus, at LWPLUS Love War Plus. You can also call and join the conversation here in the studio. Tell us what's your take on this topic. The numbers are on your screen. We shall also be taking your SMS messages, and we shall be declaring them in the days ahead. All right. Also on this show, Bala, a couple of episodes ago, we rolled out a quiz.
Yes, of course. Of course, our quiz of the day is always a package that we always keep for our fans.
We rolled out our quiz. And I tell you something, that was the big question. Who were the top scorers of AFCON 2013?
Yeah.
And if you remember very well, Nigeria won that competition. And I tell you, it was a very, very interesting competition. Love War Plus was at the stadium, and we saw it all. So we asked the question, name the top 3 highest goal scorers of AFCON 2013, won by Nigeria. And you will not just name them, you are going to tell us which countries they are from and how many goals they scored. Uche from Aba. Once again got it right. And I tell you, the topmost scored 4 goals, and Uche told us the names, and he was just right. Okay, Mubarak Wakaso from Ghana netted 4 goals. Tying with Nigeria's Emmanuel Amunike, who also netted 4 goals. And the other 2, Seydou Keita from Mali, who scored 3 goals, and Alan Traore from Burkina Faso. So, Bala, give him a round of applause once again. Of
course, we're going to be blowing the trumpets for you, Uche, very, very soon. And trust me, Total Football is watching all you do, like you're watching us. But we appreciate you, and of course, for your efforts in making sure you talk true football.
Okay. All right. So we say congratulations, Uche. Expecting to hear from us, and you are going to do us a video when you receive your prize.
Of course.
And you're going to send it back to us.
Sure.
For next week's episode. So we're going to have you out there for next week. Congratulations. Okay.
All right. So, veteran.
Right.
Tell me, what's happening in the world of sports, in the Bible of sports? Can we just find out?
There is so much. There is so much, I tell you. There is so much. And we will just quickly gloss through it. As I say, congratulations to Inter Milan. You know, we were talking about it before we came into the studio. Inter Milan qualifying for the Europa Cup finals, and we're going to have Sevilla versus Inter. What do you think?
I think that's a great match to be played, and what a final that is going to be, because the giants of Europa League, and of course the injured giants, that's Inter Milan, and we know the kind of coach, and of course a striker like Lukaku, who is on fire, breaking records everywhere.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And Lukaku scored against Sevilla the last time Manchester United played against Sevilla, though Manchester United lost. Manchester United lost 3 times to Sevilla right now, but Lukaku is on fire, and we know
is right on fire.
For the first time in a very long time, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed.
You will not be able to predict that game.
I don't want to.
All right, but one thing is sure, Europa Cup will go to either Spain or Italy. While Champions League will go to either Germany or France.
I can see Germany. I can see GGG on the Champions League.
You are one of those.
GGG.
You are one of those.
I saw G. It might be PSG.
In the course of this program, we shall also be linking up to our guest in South Africa. She is a very sound sports administrator and a physiotherapist, of course. She will be sharing Europa Champions League analysis with us all the way from Johannesburg in South Africa. You won't miss it for anything.
You won't.
Bakare Ummukulthoum will be joining us
of course,
live from South Africa. But right now, let's give you some of the top stories. The African champions will be playing in England And for the third time in his career, talking about the former Super Eagles captain, John Obi Mikel. He is back in England. And the former Chelsea midfield maestro, John Obi Mikel, has stated his impact in winning mentality that he's going to translate onto his new club side in England right now. And that's in the Championship, Stoke City. And I quote him. He says, "There is always a way to win a game. We need to find that way. That mentality needs to come into the team. It's all about winning week in, week out." Bala, there is no other person that can say this except the person who has experienced it. And that's John Obi Mikel with Chelsea. How many years in Chelsea?
Of course, you see, that's what he said in the first press conference he had for Stoke City. And he said he's bringing back the winning mentality. This is a practical fact that Mikel, look at the Nigerian team, look at all the teams he has played for. The latest that we can get this fact from is Trabzonspor, the last team he played with in Turkey, the last time. Look at what the fans said. You know, he terminated his contract by mutual consent.
Exactly.
And Trabzonspor didn't qualify for Champions League. They finished like 6th, and the fans came out raging that why did the club
let
Mikel go? That since Mikel was at the club, they hadn't lost. But once he left, they fell.
I'll tell you something. Let's take a little time out and listen to John Obi Mikel speaking about his return to England.
Yeah. John, you've just put pen to paper to become a Stoke City player. Just give us your initial thoughts having joined the football club.
Excited, I think is the word. Yeah, it's been, it's been a week or so, talking to, the club and, talking to the manager, try to know exactly what the ambition of the club is, and also my ambition and, what I want to do as a player. And I think we've got a good match here. My ambition and the club ambition seems to be, pretty much the same. And so I'm pretty excited to see, where we can go with this partnership. I'm here to help the club get promoted. I think this club belongs in the Premier League. That's where it should be. And with the right with the players that is here, that we have here, and the manager also that we have here, and a good structure, of the club, I think we have a good chance.
Is it that ambition that attracted you to the football club?
Yeah, definitely. I've spoken to few clubs and few.
Okay, John Obi Mikel there sharing views at Stoke City back there in Championship club side in England, and he says Stoke belongs to the topmost echelon of football in England. That's the Premiership, and he is right there to make it happen.
But I'm wondering what's happening. Why is Mikel just jumping from relegation team, championship team to championship team? He left Middlesbrough and now he's back. I think.
Do you want me to answer that? I think that Mikel has played football to the highest level. He has won everything there is to be won in football.
Messi has won.
He has won the Champions League.
But Messi has won everything.
He's taking his life easy.
He and Messi. Yeah, I think.
At 33.
Messi. I think. Mikel should be on a better, no disrespect
Did you hear what he said?
To Stoke.
He said, "I am here to help Stoke return to Premiership." So if he plays a season with Stoke and they qualify back to Premiership, he would have answered you.
One quick question.
He would have answered
Don't you think we need him back at the
Super Eagles?
Super Eagles?
I am one of those who believe that John Obi Mikel has got a lot of football left inside of him.
All right.
And I'm looking forward to him returning, to the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
So, still talking about Africans. Still talking about Africans.
Yeah.
We have the Sadio Mane, who has made us proud. Tell us more.
Very much in the news. National player from Senegal, Sadio Mane, is back in the news. Liverpool forward has won the Premier League, Professional Footballers Association Fans Player of the Year 2019 to 2020 soccer season. And I tell you, he rightly deserves it. Yeah. Liverpool FC, the club side itself, reports that Mane scored a total of 18 goals and provided 7 assists at the top flight of football last season. And in a poll of football fans across England, Mane took 41% of the vote to beat Manchester City's Kevin De Bruyne, who made 27%, and teammate Trent Alexander-Arnold, who also made 17%. Virgil van Dijk, Raheem Sterling, and Jamie Vardy were also nominated for the prestigious award, which was won by former Chelsea star Eden Hazard. That was 2018-2019 soccer season. A little bit more on Mane. He joined Liverpool in 2016 from Southampton, and he says has gone on to make 170 appearances in all competitions for the Reds, scoring 81 goals to help them win the Champions League, also win the UEFA Super Cup and the World Club Cup competition before their Premier League success. So this gentleman has also won so much with Liverpool and for Africa.
So I'm saying, you see the thing about Sadio Mane, this is one of the awards that I will call credible. Because this is no football writers, this is no coaches voting, this is no players voting. This is a vote from the core of every football team, the fans. And for the Premier League fans, to come out and vote, not the English boy Arnold from Liverpool, or we have the Belgian star, not him, but they pick the African. That's to tell you that this guy really is a bull, not just a gentleman. He's a bull.
Let me give you this news, and it's one that also involves a former African Player of the Year.
Of course.
Talking about Lionel Messi. I tell you, it's an interesting one reaching us right now. Former Barcelona and Cameroon captain and striker Samuel Eto'o has joked. It was a joke.
There's no joke without, there's no smoke without fire. All right.
Did you want to hear the joke?
Look at what he said. Okay, that's what he said.
He said, Leo is the best player in the world and the best of all time. I would always pick the team asking Messi who he wanted next to him in his team. Every team in the world wants Messi. Then you have to give him support. He can't run like a 25-year-old kid anymore, although he does sometimes. Open quote again. What we have to do as Barcelona fans is to give him the best team in the world to keep enjoying him. He has to play until he is 70. 70. 70. Listen, he says, if Messi decides to leave, we have to change Barcelona's name. Bala.
When I saw that headline before we came into the studio, that if Messi decides to leave, they change Barcelona's name.
Hey, come on.
Nah, that's too big. Come on, Eto'o Fuse. Come on, Eto'o. Come on, Samuel Eto'o. We understand how Messi. I know they have a love affair. What I mean by a love affair, like a father and a son affair.
It was a scintillating time for Samuel Eto'o playing alongside
a father, Messi, because he always calls Messi his son. Messi's like a son to him, so I can understand he's pained for Messi. And I can understand, but no player is bigger than the team.
But I ask you something. I ask you, is Messi leaving Barcelona?
Messi?
Is he leaving Barcelona?
I doubt. Messi leaving Barcelona? I doubt. For the season, he's not going to be leaving. He's not going to be leaving Barcelona.
He's not going to leave?
He's not going to leave.
Okay. I tell you something again. If Messi ever decides to leave, where do you think he's headed?
Newell, Old Boys.
Newell, Old Boys.
Yes, Argentine club, because that's the only club Messi has actually hinted that he wants to go to, even in all transfer.
But the rumors that arrive, making the rounds in the media, that Pep Guardiola might just take him to Manchester City this time around.
That's going to be a big call, because a player like Messi, you don't actually know the next step he's going to take.
Eto'o wants him to play until he's 70. Come on. All right. Those are the top stories reaching us here in the studios on Total Football right now. Bala, let's hit the road straight up to Europe. Let's hit the road to Portugal, where the 2020 UEFA Champions League, for the first time, the format is changing. Yeah. So all teams come to Portugal, come to Lisbon, and let's play the quarterfinal, let's play the semi-final, all through to the final. All through,
just one leg.
So we decide one leg knockout. What do you think has been happening there?
I think this has been from disaster to beautiful.
From disaster to beautiful.
Yes, you know, like Pastor...
From fiasco.
Yes, like Pastor, you know, like Pastor Chris will always say, you know, everything works together for our good. And that's what I've worked in for sports. You know, normal, you have like 2 games and a team gets to settle down, play and come back. There's home advantage. But now no home advantage. Straight up, you don't play well, you get out.
And I think it's working out. You know, after the fiasco tried to threaten football, football returned. I give kudos to all the organizers of football around the world, including Africa. Yeah. They found a way. They found a way to defeat COVID-19, so-called.
A month of recovery.
So-called. We are recovering everywhere, all sides, all angles, including our football, our churches, our markets, our offices, our... Brother, God is awesome.
Awesome, I tell you.
God is awesome.
Always.
All right, let's go to Lisbon. The quarterfinal matches of UEFA Champions League 2020 settled, and we are now into the semi-finals. But before we talk semi-finals, let's give you some of the highlights of the quarterfinals. Atalanta versus Paris Saint-Germain, and of course, RB Leipzig against Atletico Madrid. Enjoy them, and we'll be back.
Assembled the inside the fullback from Mbappe, who does everything right.
Absolutely awesome.
Okay, I tell you something. Very interesting games were played at the quarterfinal stage, and Bala, you already talked about how shocking some of the results were. As a matter of fact, 2020 soccer season has been incredible in terms of results coming in.
But the match we just watched now against PSG and Atlanta, it was not quite shocking for me because I expected it.
It's not one of those.
PSG has gotten, I think, one of the easy run in the Champions League since the restart. And I must say, congratulations to them. It's not their fault they're in their position.
I'm going to ask you the question, you know, before we go to South Africa to speak with our guests. Don't worry, when I come back, the talking point is really, are you expecting a shocking winner for 2020? Are you one of those? What's your take? But right now, let's go back to Lisbon, Portugal, and look at how Bayern Munich decimated Barcelona, almighty Barcelona, and the football world will never stop talking about that scoreline. And then we also see the second game that settled all 4. You know, that's Olympique Lyonnais beating Manchester City.
That is the worst fall, even worse than Barcelona. I think that's the worst fall, even worse than Barcelona.
Hold your peace, come on. Let's go on. Let's watch the highlights. When we come back, I'm sure you will be able to talk then, because the results have been wonderful, wonderful. If anybody told me, even Lionel Messi, you know, there's this joke that has gone viral that Lionel Messi is saying that he doesn't understand what happened. He doesn't understand Bayern may be possessed of what? And I say of football skills. I'm telling you, it goes to technicality.
That's the match behind.
All right, enjoy the highlights, and we're still here.
In their 13th successive quarter-final competition record, they've lost 4 of their last 6 mind.
Okay, I tell you, that will remain the talking point around football for many, many years to come. How come Barcelona conceded 8 goals? How?
How come? And how come Messi was able to shake opposition players after losing so much?
That's football. That's the spirit of sportsmanship.
But that is a new Messi. That's to tell you he's fed up and he wants to leave.
And you know, before that game, Messi has been speaking about the poor form of Barcelona.
Yes, and he
says if we continue to play like this.
And if you look at it, like a prophet of football, Messi actually said this before the restart of the Champions League. After they lost the league to Real Madrid, Messi went out on a rant, and he said if they keep on playing like this, once they get to Europe, they will be swept.
They will be trashed. And indeed, they were trashed.
And indeed.
Okay. This is Total Football. We're not going anywhere. We'll keep tab on what is happening around football for you every Tuesday, right here on Love World Plus.
But for quite surprising, looking at a team like Leipzig that is just, I think, 12 to 10 years old in football and in total, because the team was just made. Oh, I can see our guest is Oh, no.
Okay, I'm told that we are live now to South Africa, in Johannesburg. Bakare Ummukulthoum is our guest today and will be sharing UEFA Champions League analysis with us. But I tell you something, who is Bakare?
Who is Bakare?
Let's take a quick look at who she is really before we connect live with South Africa.
All right.
Okay, God help me with this name, Ummukulthoum.
Yes.
You know why I'm able to get it right? Bakare was my classmate and coursemate in our master's class at the University of Ibadan, where we studied sports administration, and she's been excellent. Ummukulthoum is an executive board member at the International Federation of Sports Physical Therapy. I call them physiotherapists,
yes,
simply.
Of course.
Okay, she is a board-certified senior physiotherapist out there in that organization, and we're live already. We're live already. Okay, I was just going to. I was going. Yeah, she's a board-certified senior physiotherapist practicing in Nigeria and right now in South Africa. Hello, Bakare. Are you there with us? Great to have you join us from Johannesburg, South Africa. How are you doing out there, Bakare?
Well, hey there, Emenike. It's great to be here. Thank you very much for having me on Total Sports. Well, in this pandemic era, we are still on lockdown here in South Africa. It's winter, so it's making it a little bit worse, but we're okay. Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here today.
Okay, great to have you. Great to have you. It's really cold out there. It's winter session.
I tell you.
I tell you, you need to witness, you need to experience.
I'm liking the way Bakare is looking because I know how with her short hair, I really love you, Bakare. I really love the way you look with your short hair, but I can see you're looking really nice today. Okay, Bakare, let's go straight to the topic for the day. Football family around the world is alive again. You must agree with me after the return of the round leader game, and that's after the threats by the so-called coronavirus. And today on Total Football, we are definitely looking at football in Europe, at the Champions League particularly. And this will see two teams from France go head-to-head with two teams from Germany for the first time. That is happening in 24 years. No English team, no Spain, no Italy. What's your fair assessment of this development in Europe?
Well, first of all, the pandemic took the entire world by surprise, and it's been a dare couple of months. Most places, including South Africa, have been on lockdown since March. So I think that most football lovers were happy to see that some normalcy was returning to the game. However, to your question regarding my thoughts on two German and two French sides making it to the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League, I think that Germany as a country, they recovered quickly from the pandemic, the impact of the pandemic, unlike their other European counterparts. So that might be a contributing factor. Although German football has had its place on the world stage for a while now, and it's no surprises there. France are the ones that I would say I'm surprised about, because PSG, they are perennial underachievers, and it's also good to see their close rivals Lyon also making it to the semi-finals. Bayern Munich has been electric in this tournament. They've dominated the domestic league, and now they've brought a different firepower, the same, well, essentially, to Europe. They are really the team to beat. RB Leipzig have been, in fact, phenomenal, because they are essentially like the underdogs in the four teams that have made the semi-finals. You know, shocking Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid to take that spot, that coveted spot in the semi-finals, which is nicely set up against PSG. I think both countries have done very well in progressing football development, and they more than earned the spot in this year's semi-finals.
I totally agree with you, Bakare. But let me ask you, after that game against Barcelona, every football fan believes that the Champions League 2020 belongs to Bayern. Are you one of those?
To be honest, anyone who wants to pitch against Bayern in this tournament will probably have themselves to blame. They have been electric, like I said before. They are the team to beat, even though I wanted a new Champions League winner this time around. But unfortunately, you really can't pitch against this Bayern side. They've been organized. They've been scoring goals. They're a goal-scoring machine. I mean, for them to have humiliated a side that has Lionel Messi 8-2, it's incredible. And even all the English teams too have suffered in the hands of Bayern Munich. I think they are the team to beat for this tournament. So yes, my head is saying that definitely Bayern is poised to win this UEFA Champions League of 2020.
Okay, Bakare, I see you've taken sides with Bayern,
Bayern,
I should say. But on the top four, who do you see making it to the last two?
The Champions League is always a very exciting competition. And for the last four, I think those last four earned their spot in the coveted semi-final place. Bayern, PSG, Lyon, and Leipzig have all done very well to find themselves in that semi-final spot. However, you'll find out that there are, in terms of ranking, as far as things are concerned, Bayern is topping that spot and favorites to win because they've won all their games very convincingly. All the oppositions that you thought perhaps would be, would cause an upset or anything, Bayern came out and just convincingly whooped these sides. So Bayern, for me, definitely is very likely to make it to the final. I'm not sure Lyon has what it takes to kind of upset the Bayern side. But then again, it's football, you see. Anything can happen, but I feel like Bayern is making it to that final. For the second semi-final, it's PSG against Leipzig and RB Leipzig. And I think the way that Leipzig are in this tournament is like they are the underdogs. They were formed in 2009. They made it to the Champions League. They are probably the fastest club to make it to Champions League football since they were formed. I think a couple of 7-8 years after they were formed, and they've been in that tournament for a while now, in the last 3 years. So I think that because they won't have any pressure, and the way they upset Atletico Madrid, they will be riding on that high. Maybe we might see an upset in that regard, because PSG, they are perennial underachievers. However, again, on the flip side, you've got Neymar. Maybe this is Neymar's year. Now we don't have Ronaldo or Messi in the competition. Perhaps it is time for him to come out of the shadows and show his critics what he's made of, and then he will be able to get PSG into that final that has eluded them for years. So it's difficult to call, but I would go with the underdogs. I think that maybe there will be that upset that will set up a domestic final with the German sides.
Okay, Bakare, I must say you are absolutely on point. So yeah. I agree with you that you are one of those believing that Bayern might take it. Yeah. But she said this might also be Neymar's year. But before we let you go, I will never forget that you are a staunch Arsenal fan. And talking Arsenal, you talk England. Bakare, why is it that all English teams failed in Europe this year, including the defending champions, Liverpool?
Well, being a staunch Arsenal fan isn't quite the word. Arsenal, for me, is a way of life. And of course, I'm still basking in the euphoria that Arsenal at least finished the season with a trophy. It's still work in progress for Arteta. And what I'm looking forward to next season is Champions League football, obviously we've been away for too long, and then also retaining the FA Cup and maybe challenge on other fronts as well. Back to Champions League football. I think it is very disappointing for English teams because we had an English team in 2 consecutive finals. We had an all-English final last time around, and one would expect that at least you have an English team in this stage of the tournament. But unfortunately, the English teams didn't step up this time around, and it's very disappointing. Perhaps the effect of the pandemic, perhaps, you know, there are so many other factors that have led us to this point, but I think there is still a lot English football needs to do, because they had a sudden resurgence a couple of years ago, you know, making the semi-finals. In fact, there was a time there were 3 English teams in the semi-finals, and an all-English final has happened in the last decade a couple of times. So it's pretty disappointing for lovers of English football, but here we are. I think despite all of that, we're still set up for a cracking final, and I'm looking forward to that.
So nice one, Bakare. But as an African, I should ask this question. We've seen how the European counterparts have made football a big business for the neighboring countries, and I say those participating. Where does Africa lie when it comes to the football business?
Well, I think that Nigeria specifically and Africa in general has a lot to learn from their counterparts in Europe regarding how to make football a lucrative business. I mean, we're trying to do our best, but I think one of the biggest challenges we have is fitting square pegs in round holes. We need to now make sure the right people are the ones in charge of our football. And I'm talking about all components of the game, because one of the biggest challenges, again, that I would like to identify is that as much as we all want to see football happening, fans, engagement, and all other components that are involved in football, the medical aspects of football and football medicine in Nigeria has been significantly downplayed. And that's a big challenge, because if you have a product and you want to brand your product effectively, you want to make sure your product is in a good position to make money for you, then that means you have to invest in players' health and make sure that the medical side of things are in place. So I think that it's time for us to keep going back to the perennial drawing board and ensure that we have all the necessary components that will make our football lucrative in place. And again, we should also try to make sure that we try to evolve, do things differently. If we want different outcomes, we have to learn to do things differently. So it shouldn't just be all motion, no movement. It shouldn't be all talk about, you know, drafting different policies without implementing them. So I think we could learn a huge lessons from our European counterparts to make football a lucrative one in Nigeria and indeed Africa at large.
Nigerian-born sports administrator and physiotherapist Bakare Ummukulthoum, thank you so much for sharing Total Football with us today, all the way from South Africa.
That's it for me for now, and I'm really looking forward to setting up a cracking final for the UEFA Champions League this season.
I bet you, Bakare, I bet you we are here and we will be reporting that final live. We will be back to you to share what happens after 90 minutes. We have to go.
Of course, we have to go. So we're just going to see how the matches go, and join us on Spotify on Saturday, where we bring exclusive highlights and, of course, in-depth analysis on what's been going on in the Champions League and the Europa League.
Absolutely. Tonight at 8 Nigerian time will be the first semi-finals.
Yes, of course.
What's your take?
Like I said, I choose not to predict, but to enjoy this time.
Yeah, because predicting sticks out your neck, and you don't want me to cut your hair. Okay, don't worry. It will be RB Leipzig against PSG.
You see why I don't want to predict?
They've not
zeros. They've not played before. I don't want to be that. I'm just going to hold on.
We have to go. Okay, when you talk football, time flies so much. We'll do it again same time next week. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Don't you forget that at 7 p.m. Nigerian time, Pastor Chris will be back. You can't miss it. But before then, Beyond the Facts,
of course,
we'll prepare you for what Pastor has to say. Thank you so much for watching Total Football. We'll do it again.
We'll do it again.
We'll do it again. On behalf of Bala, Okidiave Menike Agu is my name. Let's see you again same time next week. Bye.